Playoff action tonight, Game 2 of the Western Conference Final in the NHL. Colorado hosting Las Vegas with puck drop at 8 o'clock. Cale Makar out again for Colorado. Mark Stone not going to make his return for Vegas tonight. Stone, according to head coach John Tortorella. For that series, Vegas leads it 1-0. While in the NBA, we have Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. The Spurs host the Thunder. That series is tied at 1 game apiece. Spurs guard Dylan Harper is considered a game-time decision, as is Thunder forward Jalen Williams. He is questionable tonight. Game time is at 8:30 for that one. Over in baseball, Bisons are at Syracuse tonight. That game is just after 6:35. While in the majors, Yankees host Tampa, the Jays have the Pirates in town, and the Mets are down in Florida versus the Marlins. All of those games will start just after 7 o'clock. And catch every take, every reaction, and every big Buffalo sports moment live now on YouTube with Jeremy and Joe in the morning and Schopp and the Bulldog in the afternoon. Watch your favorite WGR hosts anytime, anywhere, live on air, live on YouTube. It's brought to you by Belknap Heating and Cooling. For more comfort and less ka-ching, give Belknap a ring. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
My dad's not here right now. He's still at work. So I'm going to blast him.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I'm going to see if there's a clean version so that my parents and the people at my school will not get mad at me. We've got the spritzer filled with water just in case if stuff gets too fire. I'm going to set up the speaker and I'm going to listen to
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
I think this is the best
Mike Schopp
feature that I've heard in a long time. I think his flow is really good in it, and I like his aggressiveness on it, and
the Bulldog.
Put not enough effort in it. I think overall his flow was good, but I don't like that mobile rapping. That was my review of
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Didn't need the spritzer. Wasn't fire enough. No spritzer for you. No spritzer.
Happy Friday. Memorial Day weekend is upon us. I'm a big Memorial Day guy.
You check the weather?
Not worried at all. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I feel like tomorrow's going to be lousy.
Oh, tomorrow looks like a complete washout. Yeah.
Tomorrow's shot.
Yeah.
By Monday,
you're confident. You're
very confident.
You're optimistic. You're going to get your
70s and sunny.
Okay.
I'm saying it.
I hope that's right.
Never fails.
I'm going to try to play some golf Sunday morning. The models that I've been using.
Yes, go on.
Indicate rain in my neighborhood will dissipate around 6 a.m. So
Doppler?
I'm hopeful that I can squeeze some golf in. I've only played at Delaware Park once. It's Memorial Day.
Well, I gotta
get going here.
It's a little bit confusing because it's the earliest.
That's right.
It could be,
but still.
I mean, today's May 22nd, and I'm sort of like starting Memorial Day weekend. That's very early. It's the earliest it could be.
It does feel.
You have Doppler? You have a whole scene in there?
Yeah.
That attic?
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yes.
Maps?
I've got
radar?
All of that. All of that and more.
ISO bars?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Keep going.
It's Weather Center, Snow Job 550 at home.
It's all HQ in the attic with my fancy new windows.
I had a very dark... Well, I don't know if it's really that dark, but would you take thought today on the Sabres?
Oh, no. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So we've referenced the Bills many times through the Sabres run. Just how, this was unexpected and it's new. You know, you're on the love boat. It's just like love, exciting and new, the Sabres this year. You know,
yeah, you're staying up all night talking.
Yes,
that is where we are with the Sabres.
At a certain point, you tell me when this might have been for you. If I said lose in Game 7 of the second round, you're like, "Yup." I mean, you might have said that in March. Sure, I'll take that.
Yeah.
The reason why you don't is because you can't win a cup that way. I've looked into it.
Right. They don't award you any prizes.
No,
if you
nothing.
lose in the second round.
Just a worse draft pick.
Right.
That's it. Maybe a little money for the players and the team, but no.
Yeah, some money for the franchise for hosting playoff games. That's helpful.
Right. We get the experience of going to those games. We spend money to go to those games. Anyway, when would you have started to say no to losing Game 7 of the second round? I mean, it might have been well into the run. And the Bills comparison is obvious. How now we're at a point with the Bills where they have lost in the AFC playoffs, 7 years in a row.
Right.
Houston,
Yep.
Kansas City, Bengals, Kansas City, Denver. Is there another one? Are there 4 Kansas Cities? Yeah, I think there are. 2 AFC championships there, 13 seconds, and 1 here. There's 4 Chiefs, a Texans, a Bengals, and a Broncos. 7 years in a row, the Bills have lost in the AFC playoffs. 8 out of 9. 17 is the drought-breaking season. That's Jacksonville. And then 18 is Josh Allen as a rookie. They don't make it. 6-10 back in the old days when teams didn't play 17 games. But whenever you want to sort of start the clock on the Bills for this, maybe I would do it in 20.
I would too. Yeah, 19 didn't feel like a team that was a real threat. By the middle of the 20 season, it was sort of like this Sabres season.
Yes.
Like, they could do it. I don't know who's better.
I think exactly the same. That the 20 Bill season was the 26 Sabres season, where all right, well, they don't have sort of the battle scars, if you will, but they're good enough to win.
Right.
Maybe the Sabres were never good enough to win the Stanley Cup, but I am not surprised by what happened last night. I mean, I know everybody was on Carolina. I didn't bet the game or anything. I was not surprised to sit down at a bar with old friends and see Montreal blitz them.
Yep.
That sort of I mean, it's still Carolina and Anderson, and that could happen.
Yep.
I don't know where it goes from here, but I didn't think that was that surprising, and I could totally have seen the Sabres doing that.
I would expect they'll find their footing. I do think the layoff it's hard to get to that. Montreal is at 11, speed-wise, they are just there. And you cannot. I still think the rest will end up helping Carolina as the series goes on because they should be fresh, and they will find their legs, I think. But it's just really a lot to expect them to be at that pace on the puck, on plays, just everything. And, yeah, it was very, to me, foreseeable that Montreal could do that to them in that game. I think it'll level off. We'll see. I don't have to be right about that. I mean, if Carolina's goaltending, does Rod Brind'Amour know he can take him out? At 3-1, maybe,
that was interesting.
And then at 4-1, okay, he's just not gonna. Okay, all right.
Well, you know what? I don't know what he said, but I wondered about it because I could see Brind'Amour thinking we all need the work.
Yeah, maybe.
So that's the point. I mean, that's what's going to be said about what's already been said in here. That's going to be what's said about this performance. If it doesn't turn around, is we're all rusty, and my goalie needs the work too. We're riding with him. What a statement it would be to pull him in the first period after 8 straight wins and then almost 2 weeks off.
I guess that's right, yeah.
But, I mean, if it got a lot worse, they would have probably had...
I just kept wondering, where's the breaking point? If they get a 5th one here, is that it? Or at least to start the 2nd or whatever, but anyway. Yeah, I mean, that was in a lot of ways hard to watch because, I definitely thought running as hot as both Buffalo and Montreal were coming off of that series, whoever gets that goal in overtime, I would have loved them in game 1 of that series with the time off. And seeing it go that way, I mean, I would still expect a tough, hard series there, but it's nice to get that one on the board, considering what an underdog you are going in.
The only thing I would say about the Canadiens versus the Sabres in that spot is Montreal's top guys delivered. It was Caulfield, Slavkovsky, Demidov. That was boom, boom, boom. And I don't know that I don't think I could say that I would just assume our guys would do that.
Thompson would be up to that. Yeah, that might be right.
That's really where any argument that the Sabres belonged in this series really gets damaged because that's just kind of how it's supposed to work, where your best players are your leaders on the score sheet. And Montreal is doing that right now, and the Sabres were not. I mean, not that the guys who were scoring for the Sabres aren't good. Maybe they do that with Benson and Doan last night, but it's harder to imagine. For me, it is. Here's the dark. I just want it as a thought provoker.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take the Bills' last 5 years for the Sabres' next 5 years? I just want to say, in defense of the idea. It will be a lot of fun.
Right. It'd be this over and over again. Are we capping out before? Am I getting to the conference final a couple of times within that? Right. Like that's the structure, but never getting all the way to the final. That's the idea here.
You can make it as specific as you want.
I can't say I would take it. I can't. But I would want to stick up for it as an idea at least, because it would be a blast. Like the ride is the thing, the days in between the games. I mean, we've been saying it for years. We found out again this year. And you were first to it even before the regular season ended. I just want this part to keep going, right? The anticipation of getting there and, like, what could happen.
I'm not even willing to let go of it yet.
How wide open could this whole thing split for them? Like, what's possible? And that was great, Last Friday was somewhat torturous in here, and then Saturday was great, and then Sunday was great. Like those days piled on top of one another for 5 years worth of springs. It's compelling, but I could not say yes. Let me sign for that, knowing my ceiling is I'm never going to even get to the final.
The Bills have never lost the first round in any of these years. Well, since 20. I mean, they've won at least one game every year in the playoffs.
Right.
Since
19,
since 20.
So
that would mean the Sabres win a round every year for the next 5 years, at least.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2, but never 3.
Yeah, I can't.
The thing about I'm not going to try to convince you. I know how it sounds. I know what I'm saying. I'm guaranteeing no cup.
There is appeal in there, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
I got to take my chances that I might miss or I might lose to Boston in the first round or, whatever.
You know what?
Any of those years giving myself at least a chance to, like, go bigger,
I don't think you're going, maybe others are, if they're thinking about it, that hard at this to say this, but it might hinge on what you think of what they have and how sustainable it is. Because if you had, like, Boston's team or Philadelphia's team, and I offered you 5 years of at least one playoff series, would you be like, sure.
I might sign for that, because I think both of those teams could be one and done this year.
Right, but if you like the Sabres more than that, they're pretty young. They're almost all under contract. So you could see it running back next year, if not beyond that. I don't trust them as an organization like I would many other franchises, to think that they're just going to be able to make it work. I mean, how much longer does Lindy have? Not that I think you have to have Lindy Ruff to have success, but that aspect of it. Are they going to lose key people to bigger and better, as has happened throughout Sabres history? I mean, they're not. I mean, the Bills, though, they weren't that either. I mean, they were the same as the Bills are small market and got to a point where they became a destination.
That changed, right.
They signed stars.
Yeah, it might be a lot to ask for that to really take hold in one season. In other words, if you were, like a lot of players probably are, if they've got a 10-team list or a 20-team list or even maybe a 5-team list, maybe the Sabres are on it.
No trade.
And you're right. That's what I mean. Does that change with one good year? That would vary, but I would think a lot of eyes got opened to what the organization is capable of and what it can be like to play here, when it's positive, when it's going well. But to your questions about the organization, like maybe Tuck is a little bit of a referendum on that. Because what do players, want to see? Like, well, you're gonna move heaven and earth to keep a good team together or a great team together. And if the Sabres, without having won anything yet and having been back on the National Hockey League landscape in a notable way for 5 months now, just say, we're not going to pay Alex Tuck. That could ding their reputation with the same players who have thought of them as a small-time organization.
Which goes back decades.
Right. So, my eyes and ears are absolutely open on the Tuck situation. I don't think they should like overextend themselves and cost themselves, I don't know, some young player because they want to hang on to Alex Tuch into his mid-30s. But there is a reason to show that you are capable of holding it together in a way that, will. Again, they haven't won anything. Neither did the 06 team. But eventually, the organization in 07 let Drury and Briere walk. And that maybe started the long slide, even though they had 10 and 11. That's where, like, the slide to irrelevance begins. And I think Tuch symbolically could represent the same thing to players in the league. Like, they can't look at they're doing it again. Assistant captain, 60 points, plays all situations. You don't want to pay. That could be tough for them. I don't know that that's a reason to do it, but it's, put it on the pile.
No, it's it probably is a really interesting consideration in that equation, is like whether or not appearances,
right?
Because and do the Sabres, does Jarmo even know this? Like, do the Sabres, are they aware? Terry Pagula, Jarmo Kekalainen, Lindy Ruff, he's been here for so much of all this, he would have lived it. He lived Drury and Briere walking out. Do they think they have that particular, I don't know, black mark anymore? It's just occurring to me that, is it maybe correct that they have just now finally escaped from Drury and Briere leaving? Or does that hinge on Tuch? Like, I don't think it was a fluke team, but it's still only one season.
Mm-hmm.
And the would you take idea really establishes, even though they would lose in the playoffs necessarily by this question, that they are a top team in the league for years, running through a few seasons. That would be a big difference for them. They've almost, really, 06 and 07 were such a short period of time, and the Hasek years were really about him. So you have to go back to the 70s almost to find, like, the Sabres as a consistently top team, and that's just too long ago to mean anything.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think maybe they have finally escaped from – they've pushed the rock off their back. They've just been weighed down by that development and how the team just had never won a playoff series again until this year. I want to say that that's true, but I also wonder if it has to be longer than just one season to be able to do that. That was always that was never cut and dried, like what it was to say that they're still living in the aftermath of those developments. You have guys on this team that were barely born yet when that happened. Benson would have been like 1 year old or something when those guys left.
It's almost 20 years ago, and he just turned 21. So, we're talking about infants.
It's another one where they would know about some of that or all of it, but not necessarily care because the team, it's so long since it happened.
Yep. And you probably would want to, I think, organizationally talk yourself out of weighing that perception too heavily in the equation, right? Like, Jarmo Kekalainen's got to do what he believes is best, and if that includes getting dinged for this, the proof will be in the what he puts on the ice and what moves he makes to replace Tuch if indeed Tuch does end up, walking out the door. I've only just now sitting here talking with you, thought of this, the perception point when you bring up, players and no trade moves and, how to improve the roster, that maybe everyone's sort of watching to see how they handle Tuch. And it's not saying like everyone would agree and just like nod along like, okay, they're too cheap to do it. There's a case to make signing this player for that money at his age, that it's not smart considering what else you've got coming and what else maybe you are capable of doing to, again, improve the team overall. But I don't know, in a vacuum, it feels like already a bit of a test for them. Like, are you capable of continuing to wear the big boy pants?
On the question again of, like, would you take the last 5 Bills years for the next 5 Sabres years? Maybe this is just being, me rationalizing it or something. But I've said before about the Bills and Sabres, with as championship focused or sort of like how we dream about it as we are, whenever either team gets close, like, is this finally the year where they can win the first, where a lot of these other teams, the Avs don't have that. Carolina doesn't even barely have that a little bit, but just sort of like, yeah, we don't have that burden.
Right.
Where the Chiefs,
right,
we don't have the burden of never having won before. And I would say, just to finish the thought, that if I need, this is, again, how does this sound? If I needed titles to enjoy this, I wouldn't be here anymore because there haven't been any. And it's still a thrill, it's a thrill when they get close. So, yeah, you know what? Give me the last 5 Bills seasons for the Sabres because I don't need a cup. I never had one anyway. I like it. I had a great time this year.
Fun if they're just really good.
Yeah, that's all I want.
Yeah.
I want it to be relevant. I'd like a month after the regular season to kick back and talk about playoff games and go to them.
Yeah. Whether you've won anything is you mentioned the Chiefs, and that trips a wire for me because like I've referenced a few times in thinking and talking about Tuck here in this space that, like Tampa was cold and hard about Stamkos eventually. They decided, all right, we're done with this. You're a free agent again, and we're going to go in a different direction. And they let their captain and icon of the franchise, 2 cups, walk and traded or signed Jake Gensel and just sort of kept going. And they're still, mostly the same level of contender, but they had the success. Like, you have that to stand on when you ostensibly turn your back on a franchise icon. Now, Tuck has never been their captain, nor is he Steven Stamkos. But it does matter. Like, his standing on the team is similar. Like, he's one of the faces of the team. And they have not, if they'd won something, it would be a lot easier to make the cold, hard business decision. But they haven't. And so now I'm supposed to trust you that you're going to take this very important piece out and you will capably replace him. When just a little more than a year ago, we were talking about palm trees and taxes. Look, are we sure you are going to be able to do that successfully? Because that's a lot of trust for me to extend to you, considering what your backstory is. So it pinches them in ways that, again, they maybe should ignore, but it's hard to, I think. The optics have to matter somewhat. It's a public, it's a public interest. It's a business.
Yeah, simply it's a way, whether it breaks a tie or something, whatever all the factors are that go into the decision on Tuck, is it something where they feel like they need to show the rest of the league that times are finally different here? And if that means an overpay, we're up for it. Okay. We all know it is. We all know it would be. Teams do it all the time, though.
Right.
You have a good team, you want to win. You want as much of it back as you think as you can pull off. So, yeah, I hadn't thought about it really from that standpoint either. But it might be important to think about that. Sam Panayotovich is back today. We gave him last Friday off. Pizza content? Why is he tweeting about pizza? He's like, Bulldog responded.
That's it.
I said, I didn't know about this.
There was, he was going in to do something on the radio and said there might be pizza, and that followed up last night with some pictures of what looked to me, I guess we're going to have to hash this out. It looked like Detroit-style pizza, and it looked fantastic. And so I just commented, like, this goes hard or something stupid like that. That was the extent of it. I mean, it wasn't a long exchange, but it caught my eye. The 3 pizzas he showed pictures of all looked like I would eat the you-know-what out of them. They looked great.
You know what I'm going to say.
It's just pizza?
It's pizza. It should look good. Oh, my God. It should look good, right? Shouldn't it look good? Pizza? Doesn't it usually look good?
Get off the island.
Literally and figuratively. Sammy P. Chicken Dinner podcast coming up next. Chad DeDominicis today, expected Buffalo coming up. We'll ask him about Alex Tuck and some of the big topics with the Sabres. 803-0550 to join us. Sam Panayotovich next. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Comfort.
Now's the perfect time to make yourself comfortable with a new electric heating and cooling system from Belknap.
In Western New York, summer and winter bring extreme temperature conditions. Make yourself comfortable with Mitsubishi electric heat pumps, designed to keep your home cool in the summer and warm in the winter, no matter how hot or cold it gets outside. Call Belknap today to learn more.
I'm Gary Gorfel, president of Belknap. We work on your schedule. We don't charge more for weekends and evenings. That's why we say,
Give Belknap a ring.
I texted Sal today about something.
Not coming on the show.
Right.
that much I know because he's not coming on the show today.
When was it? Yesterday, where you or he brought up that the Dolphins and Jets have no night games?
Ooh, I don't remember being a part of that conversation.
Okay.
So he must have brought that up with you.
He was also on in the morning talking about the schedule, and maybe he said it in the morning, but the Dolphins and Jets have no night games, either of them. Not only that, I discovered this, and I had to text Sal. This is unbelievable. Let's bring Sam in for this, because I know we have to talk about pizza and the White Sox and maybe the Sabres. This is amazing. In my opinion, this is amazing. You know, the schedule, there's a lot of randomness in it. It's the New York team. Not only Sam Panayotovich do the Jets not have a single primetime game, they don't have a 4:25 game. Is that not insane? Like
that's cold.
They have two 4:05s. Okay. They have two trips out west, and on both of them, they got relegated to the dismal 4:05 slot where the announcers are right off the street. I mean, New York Jets. Sam, what do you think? What's your analysis?
I have no interest in watching or betting or discussing. Geno Smith, yay. I don't know. I mean, I thought the coach should have been fired, to be honest with you. So you run him back. You hired him to do all these different things, and they got better at none of those things. I've always been a Frank Reich guy. I like him at offensive coordinator, but the team stinks, guys. So I'm not surprised by any of that, to be honest with you.
You hire one of the best defensive backs in your franchise history and somehow manage an entire season with no interceptions.
A streak that lives to see opening day this year.
That is amazing.
Hopefully goes on infinitely.
Their first 10 games are all 1 o'clock Sunday games. They have a 4:05 with the Chargers in Week 11, and a 4:05 with Arizona in December.
Very 2008 Billsy to me is the one of the 1 o'clock, all the 1 o'clock games.
At least the 08 Bills or somebody are going to Seattle or something, and they're going to get a 4:20. Not even one for the New York team. Sam, what did you do with
That's going to be one of those teams. Sorry, Mike. That's going to be one of those teams where Week 9, Week 10. You know, for those of us that bet the NFL, and most of us that do bet on the NFL because it's fun and we can sit on our couch all day from 1 Eastern until we pass, right? Until we pass away for the night. That's going to be a team mid-season. You're going to look up and you're going to be like, do I want to take 14.5 with this team or not?
Yes.
They're going to Buffalo. They're going to New England. They're catching 2 touchdowns. Wow, that's a big number. And then they're down 21-0 at halftime.
This is a very weird place for me because Mike has been our
Mr. Jet,
our Jet stan for many years here. I mean, year over year, even predating Aaron Rodgers. I think. I don't know. I think they're going to be
easily
just year over year. Is there no chance Geno Smith can be Seattle Geno Smith? Because I like the rookie receiver Cooper a lot. Garrett Wilson's good. The tight ends are kind of interesting. I don't know. Do they have to be awful? I think if Geno Smith can play like he did 2 years ago in Seattle, maybe they could be good.
I finally gotten through to you.
No?
They could win 6 or 7 games, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, I hate to rule anything out in the NFL. The problem is the division is very top-heavy. I always start these conversations with a simple question. How many divisional games do they win? And when I think about going to Buffalo, going to New England, it's never – I don't know when I'm going to look right now at the schedule, when they go to Miami. If you go to Miami in, September, it's 90 degrees. Let's see, they play Miami, November 29th. So you could win that game. But I don't know. The first number that comes to mind is probably 2 out of 6.
Right.
And then how many road games are they going to win? They're at Detroit, at Chicago, obviously at New England, at Kansas City, at the Chargers, at the Bills, obviously.
I take it all. I want it all back. Can we just dump and start over? I want the Geno Smith. I want it all back.
Pass it to me. I'll take it. Breece Hall.
Here, Mike.
They have a first-round pick at tight end, too, to go with Taylor. We'll see. Sammy P., what'd you do with your extra free time last week?
Last week, what was I doing? Oh, I was in Florida. I got off a plane at 2:30, and I told my dad. My dad's like, "Yeah, we're going to go to lunch." I'm like, "No, I got a date in Buffalo." And then you guys had texted me in the morning, hey, we got to take these phone calls. So I told my dad, hey, I can go to lunch, which I guess in Florida is dinner at 3:30 in Naples. Yes. More dinner than lunch. Yeah. So one of my buddies got married Friday night in Fort Myers. So I was able to lube up a little earlier because I didn't have to do radio on a usual Friday at 3:30. So thank you for the added advantage to show up. Yeah, I really appreciated that.
You were texting about pizza or tweeting about pizza, and you say you were at a wedding. Our Sneaky Joe got married a couple of years ago, and maybe this is common now, but it was a first for me, and I loved it. Pizza, like at the end of the reception.
Jeremy and Molly did that.
Did
too.
they?
Yeah. Maybe you left before it got there.
Late night pizza is a nice move. Keep it in mind for in your future, Sam. Just like the 3 hours after the dinner when everybody's dancing and drinking, here come 8 boxes of pizza. That's a pretty good move.
I've thought about this more than you would actually believe, and more than I should admit. I've thought about the late night menu, and I've thought about doing Chicago dogs and cheese fries from a place called Portillo's, pretty famous Midwestern spot. So you get the Chicago dog with all the dressings, all the accoutrements, the mustard, the tomato slices, the chopped onions, the pickle spear, the sweet neon relish, the celery salt, and then just maybe a cheese fry fondue with the cheese falling off the bottom.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, only to make this even more sick, my cousin got married 10 years ago, and he rolled out a frickin' gelato cart late night, and it was unbelievable.
Sounds like a reason to get married.
I don't know if I want people that have been hitting an open bar for 5 hours and messing with, cheese fountains. That just sounds like that could get really, really ugly.
Well, Sam,
we'll see.
NFL, Stanley Cup, baseball, World Cup, where's your head at?
My head is actually in the College World Series level right now.
Okay.
One of my buddies, he bets for a living, and he's very good around this time at coming in and giving me a team or two to make a run. Like, this is his time. Late May, the tournament starts a week from today. So you've got 7 days to make one of these bets pre-flop. And I called him this morning, and I said, look, we're doing a show. We're doing Bear Bets next Tuesday. We're focusing on college baseball. He cut me off and said, bet Texas. And this is a guy who has given me some pretty good ones over the years. He's given me a couple winners, and then he gave me Florida a couple years ago. They were 15-1. They went all the way to the final and lost to LSU in Skeens in the final. So a pretty good bet. He said bet Texas. He said it's the best pitching staff in the country, and their offense is very, very good. He likes complete teams because there's a lot of teams. Georgia Tech, unbelievable offense, can't pitch. You got other teams that can pitch but can't hit. He believes Texas can do it all. And I bring up Texas because this is a team. We always talk about range and price. I'm looking now. DraftKings has plus 950. FanDuel has plus 750. And there's an offshore book at 6-1. So if you can get that 950 at DraftKings, Texas Longhorns to win the College World Series, I'm being told that's a really good bet from somebody who's very good at it.
Where are we in the tournament? So you say it starts next Friday. Is that when the final, the Omaha is next Friday, or are we in the regional start, or what?
No, you'll start the full 64-team tournament next Friday. So
Okay.
Texas is one of those teams that will host a regional.
All right. So
And
there's a
then
long
there
way
will
to
be
go.
4 teams. Yeah, of course. So we haven't started yet, but they're gonna come out of that bracket, and then they'll go to, there's a bunch of regionals. I think there's 16 regionals.
Okay.
And then the winners of those regionals then knock out to 8, and then we get through and we go to the 4-2-1. But Texas, it looks like it's a good bet. And again, the range 950, 750, 6-1. Get the best of it if you do it.
I'll play.
Not that it has any impact on our collective Lindy Ruff Coach of the Year bet, but were you riding with us Monday night watching Game 7, or was your head somewhere else?
I was. I didn't have any skin on the game. I hate betting Game 7s. I've never been a fan of it because, they always say anything can happen in a final game. I was pulling for you guys. I was following, obviously, all the stuff on GR and following all the Buffalo content. Oh, to go to overtime, boys, that's the worst. To lose it in overtime. I mean, I've been a part of some Chicago runs that ended in overtime when I was covering the team, and we had the Blackhawks on our radio station, and I remember I covered a Kings Blackhawks Western Conference Final Game 7 at home in Chicago.
Yes.
And Alec Martinez threw the puck off Nick Leddy, and it went into the back of the net. It wasn't even a good shot.
Yep.
And it went in, and the season ended, and you don't have a purpose in life for 3 months. And it's sad. I can only imagine what you guys are going through.
Yeah, yeah. So many of us. I mean, Sam, I was in the building, and I had never been to a sporting event that had that big a stake, and I was so dying for just give me this memory. I just want to be here with all these people and feel all this. Like I missed the '90s Bills in stadium experience because I was working at a pizza place and game days were busy, and so I was working for almost all of that. I went to 2 games in that whole run in the '90s, and so I just have not. I don't have. My resume lacks a big game. And even though it was only the second round, okay, come on, give me this. And man, they were so close. It was really, really heartbreaking in the end.
I feel for everybody. I've sort of been taken under the collective Buffalo wing. I've been a fan from afar here in Boston. I think it's crazy too to look back and understand that Owen Parker was at the best game of the playoffs here in Boston. I mean, he did it right. He was at the peak of the season, I would argue, when they clinched it here in Boston and knocked out the Bruins, and then the Celtics, ironically enough, lost their season the very next night. Very stale. I mean, it could be worse. I know a buddy, the buddy that made those pizzas last night, Bulldog. He's a bartender at that bar that I brought Owen to.
All right.
And he's thinking, oh man, I'm about to get tipped through June with the Celtics, right? Because that bar gets packed, and they thought the Celtics would make a run. They thought maybe the Bruins would win a series or two, and both teams lost in the first round at home in back-to-back nights. So it could always be worse, I promise.
And in between it all, the Red Sox fired everybody. Didn't that happen also within that same 24 or 48-hour window? It's they just gutted the manager and the coaching staff. So a little tough times. This pizza looked very first-rate, Sam. I am a connoisseur and was impressed. Was that Detroit-style pizza we were looking at there?
Yeah, I've got a buddy who, during the pandemic, was looking for hobbies, things to do when we were all locked inside our homes. And he bought these, Detroit-style pizza pans, and he's been doing it 5 years now. And I think it's at the point where he's mastered it. If you're curious about this and you have an Instagram, the account is Pan Pizza Poppy, P-A-P-I. And he's been making these for 5 years now. It is so good. He made a couple last night. He did a hot honey pepperoni. He did a meatball with ricotta. And then I think his best one is the buffalo chicken pizza, which he drizzles with the Wegmans hot sauce. He's mastered it. And he does it. I was surprised because I asked him, because I do a lot of cooking myself. He does them in the oven at 500 degrees for about 13 minutes a pop in the pans. They come out crispy, but the crust is awesome. The carriage underneath, and then the toppings on top. Ooh, I mean, you saw the pictures. Imagine what that tastes like.
Bulldog says he's a connoisseur of pizza.
I am.
Who isn't?
You.
Okay, maybe. That might be right.
You.
One more. I saw today from Evan Abrams, Sam, Oklahoma City tonight in the NBA is an underdog for the first time in 33 playoff games. Is there value in that series?
Everybody's on the Spurs tonight. I can tell you that much. And that's wise guys who bet it early, and the public is betting it late because the first number we saw had the Thunder as a slight favorite. So they were, I think, 1.5. And now we're seeing San Antonio 1.5, 2. I got smart guys that like San Antonio at plus prices, and now my buddies who never win are like, oh, the Spurs are definitely going to win tonight. So I think, yeah, I mean, if you want to wheel a little Oklahoma City and maybe Colorado, I think that's a pretty decent parlay tonight, like a money line parlay. If you want to go Thunder to win, Avalanche to win, I'm going to do the quick math for you. That is plus 228. Avalanche to win, Thunder to win. You get that plus price with the Thunder, it explodes that payout.
Is there an expectation that the officials are going to not allow Hartenstein to, basically put Wembanyama in a blanket and put him in the trunk of the car and just beat him senselessly? Do you think they might call
somebody who has? As somebody who has Thunder futures, I don't know what you're talking about.
Fair
Did
enough.
you see him yank the guy by the dreads the other night?
Yes, I saw all of it. Yes. Wembanyama gets me there.
I used to be an advocate for that.
I was big on OKC last year. I had them in a parlay to win the title, but the other legs didn't come through. But the Spurs are the thing that's getting me to the TV now, because what he did in Game 1 was just so compelling.
My dad had never watched San Antonio, and I've been telling him about Wembanyama. My dad's not a big NBA guy, so I've been telling him about Wembanyama for 3-4 months now, and he's like, yeah, I've heard of him. He calls me the other night after Wemby hit that three-pointer to tie it and had, 40 and 20 or whatever. He's like, Sam, have you seen this Wembanyama guy? It's the first time he ever watched him. And he's like, he's 7'5". He dribbles like a guard. I'm like, Dad, I've been trying to tell you about this guy for 4 months. So he's finally hooked on Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
Once you get Mr. P.
Yep, there you go.
You really made it. Thanks for today, Sam. Enjoy this Memorial Day weekend.
You guys, too. Yeah, get some Texas College World Series. You can find $9.50. I think it's a good bet.
I'm on it. Thank you, Sam.
See ya.
Chad DeDominicis, expected Buffalo coming up in a little over 15 minutes. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. This is WGR. Welcome back. We'll dig into the Sabres' young offseason with Chad DeDominicis of Expected Buffalo coming up at the top of the hour. Did we ever talk on the air about any of the NFL schedule release videos?
We did not. You texted me about it. I didn't. I don't know. I didn't have the bandwidth. I watched a couple. I feel like my kids played the Halo game, but I don't know I feel like I'm not hip enough to even get the jokes anymore in some of the stuff. I watched the Charger one. That's the Halo one. And I recognized the Keon Coleman bit in there. But a lot of the other stuff just went flying by me. I feel like and that sort of soured me on the whole thing. It's like, I'm probably not going to, I don't know who's funny in pop culture anymore. I'm in danger of falling through the cracks here.
To your point, I'm, significantly younger than you are, but I liked the Chiefs one the most because it was a 90s theme, right?
Okay.
QV Chiefs with Rob Riggle, wasn't it? So
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I mean, they were basically Ron Burgundy and Veronica Corningstone throughout, and I got into that one. I liked a bunch of them. Chad DeDominicis next. Stay tuned.
Tonight, we'll start in the NHL. It's Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. Colorado hosting Las Vegas. Puck drop is at 8. Cale Makar out again for Colorado, while Mark Stone will not make his return for Las Vegas. Stone news is, according to head coach John Tortorella, and Las Vegas does lead this series 1-0. While in the NBA, we have Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. The Spurs do host the Thunder. That series is tied 1-1. For the Spurs, they are waiting to see if they'll have either Dylan Harper or De'Aaron Fox tonight, while for the Thunder, forward Jalen Williams is questionable. Game time for that one is at 8:30. And then in baseball, Bisons are at Syracuse tonight. First pitch at 6:35. While in the majors, 3 games all starting just after 7 o'clock. Yankees host Tampa. The Jays have the Pirates in town, and the Mets are down in Florida to take on the Marlins. And catch every take, every reaction, and every big Buffalo sports moment live now on YouTube with Jeremy and Joe in the morning and Schopp and the Bulldog every afternoon. Watch your favorite WGR hosts anytime, anywhere. Live on air, live on YouTube. It's brought to you by Belknap Heating and Cooling. For more comfort and less ka-ching, give Belknap a ring. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
They have this Panther sound effect that is just the cheesiest, stupidest sounding thing. Big voice guy going, Panther goal scored by Sam Reinhart. Where'd you get that thing?
I trapped it. Been keeping it in my bathroom at the motel, feeding it old pizza.
It's Mike Schopp.
If you're calm, that wondrous big cat will be calm too. But if you're scared, that beautiful death machine will do what God made it to do. Namely, eat you with a smile on its face.
And the Bulldog. On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
Why waste time, I guess? Bulldog already building his team for the next Pick 10 Majors bet. Really? You've already made some decisions on your lineup?
I'm following the golf. Yeah, Koepka. Koepka is going to definitely be on my pick 10 for the U.S. Open.
Really?
Last time it was at Wingfoot, he won, and he's been playing great.
Well, are you sure those should be factors?
I feel like if there's going to be
current
factors,
form.
I feel like if there's going to be factors, those two could
history
really
of the golf course.
Figure in,
you think?
Yeah.
Has he proven he can win a major though? I don't know if I like this pick.
Yeah.
Well, I root for everybody you don't pick.
You wouldn't, because I'm going to win.
Why pick anyone else?
Maybe we'll just pick him 10 times.
Koepkas.
I'm going to pick 10 Koepkas.
10 Koepkas.
Would a team of 10... All right,
Koepkas beat the 85 Bears?
We have a guest on hold. What if Ditka's driving the bus?
Would they beat the 85 Bears? Chad DeDominicis with us, expected Buffalo. Chad, did I see today from your site that now is a good time to subscribe?
It's always a good time to subscribe. But yes, right now we have a Memorial Day, deal going because like everybody does that this time of the year. So that's the business thing to do.
And as thrilling as the playoffs were around here, I know you would say the same. The offseason is interesting in itself. Right now we're into conversations about Alex Tuck and Josh Norris and other possible roster moves that I'm sure we'll get to here. First, though, how do you sum this all up, Chad, from the unexpected nature of the surge this year to the heartbreak in Game 7?
Yeah, and the best way I put it in the article I wrote earlier this week is it was a season that awoke a fan base. I think people were always there. And that was kind of always my thought, is once they got better, people would come back. And that's certainly, what happened, maybe even more than I expected when it got to the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I think they've built that credibility back in. I think it changes the viewpoints of them, not only in the city, but I think around the league too, which is a good thing going into this summer that you see players and agents and whatever other teams see what kind of performance they put up in the playoffs. A team that was one shot away from going to the conference finals. That's good. It's going to make this conversation this summer, I think, different, where we're not going to go through the list and go, what about this guy? And someone says, oh, he has a no trade clause. To go, never mind, forget about that. I think now you can play in that realm, not only because you're winning, but I think because, other agents, other players see your core is there. Dahlin is a Norris finalist. Tage did what he did, not only for the team, but in the Olympics. And you had Benson do what he did, and Oslin and Hellenius had their come up throughout, and Doan, and you can go on and on and on of the depth on this roster. And just, if I, a good player, if I go there, then I can get them over the hump. I can be that guy. Yeah, it's a different view. The offseason is always exciting and fun to kick ideas around, but this year I think is a little bit different because you go from let's break the playoff drought, now that monkey's off your back, to, well, I can go be a contender now in this conference, and then, that's going to be a different dynamic. Maybe a little bit more fighting over different things, of course, but still good and exciting for sure.
Chad, with everything you've just said about their standing in the league, we assume being improved because of what they did over the course of the last 5 months or so. How careful, this is a conversation we just sort of stumbled into, at least my end of it, already today on our show, with Tuck going forward. Because on one hand, I know, you want to do everything pragmatically and hockey reasons and whatever. You don't want to overpay, but the last time the Sabres were really any kind of contender, the co-captains both left in one summer. And, I mean, their weather vane has sort of been twisting in the wind mostly ever since. 10 and 11 were sort of one-offs and okay. But as far as a contender goes, they've never been back until now, really, I would say. And I wonder how not meeting Tuck's price would be viewed by the hockey world. And if that matters at all in the equation, in your opinion.
It matters, right? I don't even think so much the hockey world, because I think the hockey world can see your cap situation and understand it.
Yeah.
It's not like you're sitting there with $40 million in cap space and you're like, forget it. And they're at like 12 or 13 right now. I think it more impacts the room, for sure. But also I think you have to understand the business part of it. And I've heard that argument before. Like, well, we saw Drury and Briere leave and they crumbled, and I get it, but also, you're going to have Dahlin and Tage and Samuelson and Doan coming up, and, you have your guys, your main guys still. You're not losing them. Mm-hmm. But it's part of the conversation. But it has to, I think Yarmo's in a good spot on it. It has to make sense to make your team better. You can keep him at 30 years old when, to be honest, that Montreal season, there were a handful of red flags for me. And lose somebody else that could be impactful to making your team win going forward. When you're a contender, sometimes you got to make these tough decisions, and you leave it to your management staff and, your hockey operations department to fill that void if you are going to lose a player like this, and, hope that you can just keep going in the right direction.
Do you want to weigh in with an opinion on how you think that's going to go? Like, do you think he's gonzo, or is it still too early to tell?
From the way that I think conversations went, or comments from Yarmo and from Tuck, and from what I know them not at any point, besides maybe last summer, being close to anything, I find it hard to believe here in the next month what's going to close that gap. It's not going to be the Sabres. Mm-hmm. Especially the way that last series went. So I think it would have to be Tuck coming down. And I get it. You got to think about him from his perspective. He's been an underpaid player for a long time in this league. So I have no issue for him going to chase the money and get what he thinks he deserves and maybe what he's been owed over these last few years. And if that's going somewhere else, if Seattle wants to pay you 12 or 13 or somebody else, then so be it. No hard feelings. I go back and forth on it. I'm really at a true 50-50 standpoint. I could see it going either way, and that's kind of a cop-out answer. But that's honestly where I sit right now.
I would not in terms of making a prediction about it, but just my feeling about it is I'm sort of rooting for them to pass on him. Nothing against him, but Chad, I want to see what other ideas might be available, or one anyway, the one we would get, right? We're not going to do all the, I'm not going to be in the meetings, but I feel like the top job a GM can do is not to just sign the guy at a contract rate that will be costly, maybe not even that far down the road. Instead, it's coming up with a player that you see value in that the other team that he's on currently doesn't, And you're right. And you put him with a different, on a different line, a different group, and get paid off. Maybe this is Doan a little bit. I mean, there are lots of examples. So
Yeah.
I'd like to see what Kekalainen, if there were no chance of Tuck, I wonder what, he would come up with. There would have to be something other than just keeping your good, young core of forwards and extending them.
Yeah, I mean, look, what I go back to is the trade deadline. The way I always put it to people when I talk about it is they spent days at that deadline trying to replace Alex Tuck's money. They tried to get Rob Thomas, which if you get Rob Thomas, you can't re-sign Tuck. It's just the money doesn't work. If you get Matthew Nyes that they were reportedly in on, again, that replaces the money. You can't do both. Even Parayko, like if you're going to give him that money for a $5-6 million defenseman, again, that replaces Tuck's money. So I had in the back of my mind is they spent an entire deadline essentially trying to replace his spot. So again, I come back to, well, in the next month, what's going to change from that? It's not like he went and blew your doors off in the playoffs. He had a good first round.
Yep.
But, I keep getting back to what's going to change, and it's not going to be the Sabres side. It'll have to be talking from how he talked. I don't see that either.
And Tuck, you wouldn't expect to change until after July 1st, at least. If there's going to be any movement in this,
Exactly.
it would be from the player before, sort of giving up on the idea of going to market. But
Yeah, I guess it's always possible he gets out there and it's just not what they thought it was going to be, and he comes back here and sort of, takes a lower, more palatable number to the Sabres anyway.
But if he does get to July 1st, thinking that, there would be intel, right? I mean,
of course.
He could be somebody that signs at 12:01.
Yeah.
once that starts, for the top money on the market.
Chad DeDominicis from Expected Buffalo on the Western Hotline with us, sort of pouring over the end of the Sabres season. In-house, if they cannot keep Tuck for whatever reason, they're just priced out mainly, is there a ready-made penalty kill replacement that you see? Like Lindy mentioned Doan, some fans have mentioned Doan, because a part of Tuck's value, I mean, of course, the points and the top line and all of it, but all around, just defending all around the ice, the penalty kill is a part of that, of course, too. Just his defensive ability. I'm not sure if there's a plug-and-play replacement, but you tell me if you think maybe Doan is an easy answer to that.
He can be. I mean, it's tough for me because I don't want to sit here and tell you that Tuck is not a good defensive player, because that's not true. He is. I think he's fine. You could even say a little bit above average, sure. Maybe not so much this year, which is, again, a different conversation. Even his penalty killing, I don't think he's a great penalty killer. I think he gets shorthanded goals, and that's not nothing. But you also have the leader in shorthanded goals on your team still in McLeod next season, most likely. It can be Doan who can replace offense or at 5-on-5. It could be Benson who kills more penalties. You're going to have Sam Carrick on your team next year. He's going to probably be penalty killing forward. You can go get somebody who can do that. I don't think any of that is detrimental from a defensive aspect. But my focus is there an offensive replacement for the 33 goals of 66 points? There can be, but Benson would have to step up. Helenius would have to step up. Ostlund would have to step up. And that's kind of where going into this offseason, you saw how Ostlund and, Helenius and some of those young guys really stepped up in the playoffs. Thinking about being a contending team, while you want to count on those guys, those can't be your main replacements to be a better team. Relying on a 20-year-old, relying on a 22-year-old, relying on a 23-year-old Yuri Kulich coming right from blood clots. I think I'm back in the Kevin Adams era if I'm doing that again. While those players should be important and you should consider them in your lineup, if Tuck is gone, there has to be some sort of bigger forward addition. I don't think it needs to be like a $9-10 million player, but it has to be decent. And I just don't think you can really just go with what you have in-house to replace that 33 goal, 66 points that you're going to lose who played top 6 minutes for you. That is where my concern is.
With Chad DeDominicis here on WGR, we've all spoken together about Bowen Byram in the past, and not all of it was all the time that flattering. But, I mean, great season, great first round. A player that, Chad, Jarmo Kekalainen was really talking up after the season at that press conference, getting him signed to a big deal. Is that a good idea for you? I mean, he's obviously young and had a big part in the Sabres' success this year. And by the way, how did he do it?
Stop turning the puck over. I guess that's maybe the answer.
Okay.
I don't. Yeah,
Smart.
It's hard. Playing better defensively, I guess, falls into that. I never thought the offense was the problem. It was more the defensive decisions, and I think that improved, if not significantly, this season. Now, some of that creeps back up in the playoffs, which is maybe a little bit alarming. But, in that, I kind of, especially those top four guys, they had to be, at the end of the rope for how much they played, and they were leaned on. I get it. Understandable. Now, it's a different spot than I was probably last summer. I know we talked about this a couple of times, Mike. My thing, and I like the way Chris puts it, is the defense the top four being a superpower. That's kind of where I'm at too. I think the top four of this team drives them significantly. When their top four does not play well, they do not win games, and that is really not even debatable. That defense is so important. So the way that I see it, I want to do everything I can to keep that top four together. Now, is there a limit? Of course there is. If I can get him on it's probably going to be in the nines for a contract for him with the cap going up, and maybe even high nines. But if I can get that on what? Can I get that 4 or 5 years and then try to sell him, take this now and then you can cash in again in 4 to 5 years with the cap, going up even more? That's what I would strive to. I try to avoid being tied to a 7 or 8 year deal, because then down the road as I go, maybe I can then, flip him if it's not anything, some sort of crazy contract. That's the way I'd put it. But, yeah, it's a different conversation where last year I was adamant that he should be moved, where this year I'm more, I'm not against it if the right deal is there, but I'd really like to keep that top four together the best that I can. And even if that's going to cost me a tuck to do so, then, okay, I think I can survive it, because I don't have a top four backup option behind me. For a tuck spot, I have options, and I can go. It's easier to find a forward probably than find another top four defenseman that can play as well as those four did this season.
How eager are you to see them find a way to replace Josh Norris, Chad? I know you wrote about Nico Hischier today. I don't know if Norris is involved in that. Any Robert Thomas idea that I have, I don't know that the Blues take Norris in the trade, but it involves offloading Josh Norris and replacing him with Robert Thomas, which to me would be optimal if you could find a way to make that happen. Because I'm just not sure I'm ready to trust him. When he's fully formed, it's a player I really like a lot, but I just feel like even in these playoffs, he had some moments, but it's still I don't trust that he's ever really going to be physically able to play like a 22-minute-a-night, $9 million player, or 8.5, or whatever he is.
Yeah, no, I agree. For me, and it's from when they got him to it's the injuries. Played 44 games this season. I can't pay a guy $7.95 million, I think it is, to give me half a season. I can't do it. So now what that means is it's probably going to be hard to offload him because of that fact, and teams are aware of it. But yeah, it's hard because, North, even in the playoffs, the production wasn't there. But I thought when he played, defensively, he was fine. He started to win some faceoffs at the end. He made some playmaking plays, but the goals were never there. Even when he played, look at his numbers. The scoring wasn't great. I think his pace was 25 or 26 or,
Yep.
It isn't bad, but it's not, 30 plus that you thought you were getting. It's the opposite. We got more playmaking than scoring, which was not his game in Ottawa, but turned out to be here. I could probably live with all of that if the injury factor wasn't there. I can't trust him to even give me 70% of a season, which I think would be a win. So, yeah, in that instance where I need to find money, I'm seeing what I can do to offload that. They're not going to eat any of it. You really can't do that. So we're going to have to try to find somebody, and I don't know. Maybe someone will take him as a throw-in and believes that maybe a team that's up and coming will take that on. I don't even know. I can't really think about a team. I was going to say San Jose, but they have a bajillion centers, and they have the second overall pick anyways. So I don't know. It's tough to say right now, but I'm sure you could find somebody, but it might be a little bit more difficult.
How about goaltending, Chad? Would you expect them to think? Should you expect them to think that they're all set Was this year like a big win on any debate about rotating goalies, or does the end of the playoffs change that?
My thing on goaltending is always going to be, and it is for a lot of competitions, but this year, especially when you look at the free agent market and the guys you could trade for, is show me the better option, the realistic better option. Who is it? Gustafsson from Minnesota? That's a more expensive Luukkonen for $7 million almost for 4 more years. Why would I do that? You want to go get Elvis Merzlikins from the Blue Jackets? Like, no, probably not. And then what? Am I going to trade for Thatcher Demko, who is Josh Norris goaltender, who's always hurt? You know, like there's not better options out there really. And I don't want to invest a lot in goaltending. I think 4.75 for Luukkonen is just fine. Those two combined, Luukkonen and Lyon, they were top 10 combined in goals above expected this season. And I don't know, can goalies repeat that or can they go backwards? Of course, but that's any goaltender in this league. So I don't know where there's a better option. You want to sign Bobrovsky for a year at $3 million and take that for a run? Okay, fine, sure, but he's 37 years old and he didn't really do that good in Florida. Tarasov was playing more for them at points at the end of the season. So it comes back to me, there's not really a better option. I think Luukkonen is a average goaltender, and don't get me wrong, he frustrates me a lot too, so I get it with the timing of some of the bad goals he lets in. But if you watch other teams around the league, that's consistent. I mean, look at the top 4 goaltenders right now playing. It's Wedgwood, it's Carter Hart, it's Dobish, and I don't remember who.
Anderson.
Oh, Anderson. Like I mean, in the beginning of the season, if I would have said those are your 4 finalists, like them coming, that's crazy. And those big guys seem to never really get there, which doesn't mean you shouldn't go chase one. But yeah, I'm not eager to do that. If there's a better option that comes available, fine, I'll listen to it. But I just don't think it's there. I think you're going to end up by accident making yourself worse, and you'll have a major problem there.
It's interesting to hear you put it that way because, I mean, I get the point you're making about the Final 4 goalies, but at the same time, I would say, on balance, what's not surprising is the Final 4 teams. I mean, Montreal would be the most surprising of the 4 teams, but there was a lot to like there, and who knew how if Tampa or Florida were going to live forever, or even, Toronto, Boston, et cetera.
Yeah.
So the other 3 teams in the conference finals are not surprises. I mean, Vegas wasn't good, but they might have been the preseason favorite with Edmonton out there. Avs had to be. Hurricanes had to be. So I guess that's to the point, isn't it? That they're not underdogs, these teams, despite not having the blue-chip goalies.
Right. I mean, even honestly, I get it. There were some bad games this playoffs from the goaltenders, but for the most part, they also weren't terrible. Lyon was fine in the first round to good. Luukkonen had a couple games in the second round, and a lot of those early Montreal games, I'm not going to blame Lyon when they're giving up 4 expected goals against a game. I mean, that's just bad defense for parts of it. So I think the way it ended, those last 2 games with Lyon getting pulled and then Luukkonen letting in the weak goal, that's in everyone's mind. But I mean, I don't think I'm going to sit here and tell you that they lost to Montreal because they're goaltenders. Dobish even got a hook in one of the games. There was times they had him on the ropes and they just didn't finish him off. So that's kind of where I'll leave it for goaltenders.
Game 5 for sure. Game 7 even could have been. I mean, Luukkonen makes some great saves in 7.
I thought Dobish was all over the road in Game 7, begging to get beat, and they just couldn't. I don't know, a half a dozen times. It's like, how did that not go in? But
I always say he never knows where the puck is, but it always hits him.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it.
It was pretty crazy.
Better than the other way around, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, exactly. He still gets the job done.
I know where the puck is. Wait.
No, it's behind me.
How did that happen?
Tough one.
All right, Chad. We've asked you about expected Buffalo already. Just feel free one more time to talk up what's doing there.
Yeah, so we're start our off-season content today. That'll continue through the rest of the summer here. Draft stuff, free agents, trades. So yeah, and like I said, we have a deal going on right now on the site. So check that out. This should be a lot of fun and a lot of talking about ideas. We love the off season.
Never stop keeping Sneaky Joe honest either, by the way. We need you
I
for
will
that.
about his goalie takes. That's yeah. I gotta keep him in check.
I love Joe. He sent me a trivia question this morning, and it was like one of these where there's 4 right answers, and I gave him one. He's like, "No, that's wrong. Wait, no, it's right. No, wait, No, it's wrong. Wait, it's right. No, wait. I said it was 4 coaches that are in the Hall of Fame but did not win a Stanley Cup. I'm like, all right, does it matter if they played? He's like, no. Wait. Yes. Wait. They went in as builders. Pat Quinn is one of the answers. I love Joe.
Oh, well, okay. There you go.
I love his mind and these questions. Keep me feeling young. All right. Thanks for your time, Chad. Enjoy the holiday weekend.
All right. Thanks. You too, guys.
Chad DeDominicis expected Buffalo. Roger Nielsen is one of the answers to Joe's question.
All right.
And Pat Burns was my first guess, but he won a Stanley Cup. Do you remember it? I convinced myself that he never did.
Did he win one of the jersey ones?
Yes. Montreal wins after him, or right around there. Then he's in Toronto. My 93 Leafs, they didn't win, I think. And
that checks out.
Then he's in Boston. The Sabres beat the Bruins in the playoffs one year with Burns as the Bruins coach. But yeah, Jersey happened in there too. So he is on the list of Cup winners. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here at 803-0550. Still recapping the Sabre season and looking into the offseason. If you have an idea on that, great. What was the highlight of the year for you? Lines are open for your calls. This is WGR.
We'll start in the NHL. It's Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. Colorado hosting Las Vegas with puck drop at 8 o'clock. Cale Makar out again for Colorado, while Mark Stone is not set to make his return for Vegas. That, according to head coach John Tortorella. Vegas, though, does lead that series 1-0. In the NBA, we have Game 3 of the Western Conference Final. Spurs now host the Thunder. That series is tied at 1 game apiece, but both teams looking for players to return. Spurs are questionable with Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox, and the Thunder are questionable with Jalen Williams. Game time tonight is at 8:30. In baseball, Bisons are at Syracuse tonight just after 6:35, while in the majors, Yankees host Tampa. The Jays have the Pirates in town, and the Mets, they are down in Florida versus the Marlins. All of those games do start just after 7 o'clock. It's Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
If I'm the Buffalo Sabres, I'm looking at Winnipeg for Connor Hellebuck. I know we could talk about how, Luukkonen had some great games along the way this year. Ditto for Alex Lyon, Colton Ellis, but all of them were leaky at times. If I'm Jarmo Kekalainen, I'm thinking big swing, and you've already done deals with Winnipeg and hasn't exactly said that he's thrilled to be coming back next season. And it's, full steam ahead for the Winnipeg Jets. I would be looking at Connor Hellebuck all day long if I'm the Buffalo Sabres.
Jeff Merrick this morning on WGR. All right, one thing to look at him. Talk to me. What is that going to cost me in players?
Well, the first clip I saw, now I listened to a clip of Jeff from the morning show today, and I didn't hear him bring this player's name up. But a couple of days ago, there was a video clip. Maybe he was doing he does a thing with Wyshynski still, right?
Yeah.
Right? Might have been that. I don't know. He brought up Hellebuck, and Owen Power was the name that he mentioned. And I was just like, yeah, that's going to be a hard no for me, dog. Like, just no. I just not willing to do that. I mean, I like Hellebuck fine as a goaltender.
Had his worst season.
Right. And he's 33 next season.
Yep.
The money's not great. The cap hit's 8.5, so it's significantly. The Shesterkin's is, I think, 11.5. He's also Shesterkin 3 years younger.
I'm totally not trading Owen Power for Hellebuck.
No, nor a package that includes Helenius or Ostlund. I don't think. I don't think I could get there on Hellebuck. Because I'm worried he might have already hit a cliff, and if he hasn't, it's really close. And so I'm sort of throwing in for hoping I catch like an incredible year and an incredible playoff from him. And I'd be giving up a lot of the future, I think. So I could not get there on that.
Tough to say he had his worst year when he was great at the Olympics.
Right.
I mean, that was part of his life this year.
Yep.
But, you don't see it in the Winnipeg stats. First year ever without a shutout. Save percentage under 900. He's played 11 seasons.
I mean, it's the first terrible Winnipeg team he's been on in a while. They've been a top of the division sort of contending team almost since he's been their number one goalie. That's been the case. And it just really fell apart there this year. So, without the support in front of him of an elite team, he was ordinary. Go figure. Not that you'd have to really worry about that here, but still, the price to acquire to me is just going to be really tough. And I wouldn't want to trust it enough. Like, you'd have to give up a lot to trade for Shesterkin too, but at least he's 3 years younger, and I feel like there's more of a long range thing there. Whereas Hellebuck, I just feel like I'm at the end here. I'm just hoping it's still going to be elite, and I'm not sure that there's evidence to support that.
Well,
aside from the Olympics,
we've had our own conversations, and then with fans, and then also with various experts about what didn't go well enough in the Montreal series, as close as it was. And the goaltending piece, did it get them beat? That's not an easy argument to make. It might be there. There are times when I've thought, in the end, like they didn't get enough saves. But, it's been pointed out how Montreal's guy had a terrible Game 6, and you've talked about how vulnerable he seemed. And even Lindy Ruff in the press conference the other day pointed out the Thompson-Benson 2-on-1.
We're winning the game.
In overtime.
Yep.
And, like, did he even say, or am I just thinking it for myself, like it haunts you when that happens? It wasn't like it was a sitter or anything. You have to execute it. But I think it's just as accurate to look to Thompson, even though he had 8 points in the series, to look to Thompson and Tuck as it is to look at Luukkonen or Lyon for, like, what did I really need? The slightest bit more from would have been enough than what I got. And I think it's just as right to look at Thompson and Tuck for that. I mean, Tuck didn't have a point.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, it's funny. It's reminiscent of, the defense or the offense and Allen and, all the – it's similar enough sides of the ball, I guess. But, no, I think that's – the optics of it are tough because the goal I mean, you can just how far do you want to dive into the pool, right? Like the goal that beats Luukkonen, like it dipped. It's a knuckleball. It dipped. What are you going to do? It looks so bad if you take the analysis out of it that it was a knuckleball and it dipped on him, and there's like a lot of guys would have missed it. That maybe you're being too forgiving, but to say it can't go in also seems kind of nuts. I like talking to Paul about it a couple days ago. You really watch the behind new hook angle of that. Like Luukkonen is looking right at it, and like it just dips and he misses it. So it looks softer than I think it is, and that's a problem, right? Because was it a catch or not a catch? Was it an interception? Like we're just going around and around and around, and you're going to be dug in. Joe thinks Luukkonen is goalie Ristolainen, so it's a terrible goal. I've mostly defended Luukkonen through his career, so I don't know, well, it did a knuckleball, it dipped. What are you going to do? In the end, the numerous chances you had on your sticks to end that game yourself, I think, are maybe more glaring. Like, it makes it tougher. You dominated, you had all the good chances, and then they come the other way and a 40-footer goes in, and you're like, oh, goaltending. But, I don't know, reel it back in. Like, sure, that was the first even real chance they had, and it barely even was a chance. And it ends up in the net, and you want to blame the goalie. Okay, I get it, but
it's always so easy to do that.
You had so many chances to end the game yourself, and you just couldn't find a way to beat. And the guy just looked like he was dying to get beat all night, and you only got him twice. I struggle with that. I think the goaltending on the whole, like, were they going to go and win 2 more rounds? I don't know, but I don't think it cost them the Montreal series.
They didn't start the game well on Monday.
No, they definitely didn't.
There was an icing right away, and Montreal was a little shaky too, but the Sabres didn't. What would you love to have seen is they just come out and even better than Game 5. I mean, Game 5, they got a couple of cheaper goals still. Though they had leads, just come out and be the alpha.
Right.
Like, we're back home.
They kind of eased into that on Monday night.
They did not come out really. They weren't sharp. Nerves maybe, but it just that you would have liked to be better too. Well, eventually we'll stop talking about it, right?
Yeah.
Or not ever.
We'll see. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, the specifics of it probably. Yeah, but I think it's right to look at the whole year and consider that the goaltending was actually a strength of this team. I think is appropriate. I know the 13 games you played in the playoffs carry way more weight than the 82 that preceded it, but I've got enough other stuff to do, I think. aside from finding a way to get a package together that doesn't cripple my future to trade for a 33-year-old goalie making $8.5 million or a 30-year-old goalie making $11.5 million or signing Sergei Bobrovsky so I can basically treat him like we wanted to treat Joey Bosa last year and just leave him over there until April or something. Like, I don't know. That all sounds like anything could work, but I don't think they have a goaltending problem. I'm just going to say it that way. I don't think they have a problem. Is it a strength? Well, let me slow down. But is it a problem? I don't think I can get there. I think they're better off than Edmonton right now. I mean, both of their guys were in the top 10 in expected goals. Again, whatever. It's saves above expected is what I wanted there. Sorry. I mean, that's a trusted metric. I don't think they were just lucky.
Free agent idea of the day. Joey Bosa. As far as I know, he hasn't signed anywhere.
No, I don't believe so.
Maybe we could stretch out on this more than we have time to do now, but there are some pretty famous veterans who have not signed it. Like Diggs is one.
Well, there was a
Debo.
There was a something.
He did something
Did he do something
online.
with the 14 or something?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not that gullible.
Okay.
He's an actor.
Yeah.
Remember me?
Mm-hmm.
That's what that post said to me.
Yeah.
Hey guys, remember me? My response to myself privately, yes, I do.
Slowly nodding. That was good. That was fun. It's over.
We had a good time with him.
Yeah.
Debo Samuel, Tyreek Hill. You've sworn that idea off. You're never, ever going to Tyreek Hill. I said on ADP chasing what I would think could work with Tyreek Hill, like even on Kansas City. Maybe that would be my number one idea for him, would be that Bosa / Bobrovsky idea.
Because I'm
not going to be ready anyway.
Right. There's some question about whether he'll be ready at all even this year, let alone at the beginning.
Sign him and find out when it gets to be Thanksgiving night. And he's ready. And then he makes his return debut, if that's right, to Kansas City on Thanksgiving night at the Bills.
I cannot live with the thought of 60,000 of my friends and neighbors cheering Tyreek Hill as he runs out of the tunnel.
I have him on the Chiefs here.
Okay.
But
All right.
still.
Fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
You don't want to have to root for him.
No. And that's, I don't love the Bills receiver room, but no. Can't do it.
You're keeping your dignity here on this one.
Is that what this is?
I think so.
Okay.
Self-respect. Dignity too strong. We have dognity in my house,
Dognity?
Yeah. When Margot, there'll be, there's crumbs on the floor here now and again. She'll eat those crumbs. Anytime of day or night,
have some dognity.
I get up to go to the kitchen, even if just for a glass of water or to do the dishes or something. Right there. Margot, have some dognity. You can use that. Have some dognity. You don't always have to come begging.
I think I will use this on Fred when my wife comes home 8 a.m. I know she lets him out. She comes in the back door. He here's her car, whatever. He's there. He goes out. That often what happens next is they both come in the house, come upstairs. I'm either still in bed or have just gotten out of bed often. And he sees me and he starts doing his sort of, come on, let's go in the backyard. I'm like,
I know you were just there.
I know you just were out there, and my mom will often tell. And he did everything he needed to do, he did. But that's our time. I get up, he's usually right there waiting. Come on, time to go.
We have a point system.
So dognity, I'm going to use that on him.
I get the report. How many points? 3 points, 5 points, 7 points. 7's the record.
Have some dognity, Fred.
Have some dognity.
Yeah.
You don't. Margot will. I'm here until 7. My wife leaves for hockey practice at 5:30. I get the report. Margot was fed. What she'll do when she has not been fed, and sometimes when she has, is sit patiently right in front of you That means I'm hungry. It's time for me to eat. No. Have some dog meat to eat. You were just fed. I got the report. I even hold it up and I show her. I got the report right here.
Right.
I can even tell you what you ate, how much of it you ate. There's a consistency to this. Have some dog meat. All right, let's spread that around. What was the highlight of the Sabre season for you? 803-0550. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog. This is WGR. Caller 5 at 716-221-4WGR. That's 4947. Wins a pair of tickets to see Hardy at Darien Lake Amphitheater 1 week from tonight, May 29th, courtesy of Live Nation. Tickets are on sale at Ticketmaster.com. Not quite enough time to do justice to anybody calling in on their highlight of the Sabres season. So if you're willing to sit through the break, we will get to your calls right away. Is Zach Benson going to have to fight Charlie McAvoy?
No. I don't think Zach Benson's ever going to have to fight anyone. I mean, he may choose to, but no, I don't think so. It's a good question. I mean, the dude got a 6-game suspension out of that, by the way, if anybody missed it. I mean, that you may have sort of just closed the book on them once they were gone. And it was, tit for tat. I mean, what Benson did to him was filthy. There's no arguing it. So I get why you'd ask, but no, I don't think anyone should be expecting Zach Benson to come out and answer the bell for that. That would be stupid, I think.
Look to see if when the Sabres schedule comes out, if Boston isn't the 7th game of the season.
Right.
Here or there. But yeah, 6 games for McAvoy for that, the end of the series.
Right.
And then he wasn't on the ice for the handshakes, maybe, because of it.
Oh, I don't remember that now. Yeah, I don't know.
We'll talk some more after sports. Happy Friday. Mike Schopp and the Bulldog, WGR.
Plenty of playoff action tonight. We'll start in the NHL, Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. Colorado hosts Las Vegas. Puck drop is at 8 o'clock tonight. Cale Makar out again for Colorado, while Mark Stone will not make his return tonight for Vegas. And the Golden Knights do lead this series 1-0. While in the NBA, we have another Western Conference Final. It's Game 3 for them. Spurs now host the Thunder, with that series tied at 1 game apiece. And there's a number of injuries to keep an eye on for tonight. According to ESPN reporter Shams Charania, Spurs guards Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox are considered game-time decisions, while Thunder forward Jalen Williams is considered unlikely to play. Game time tonight is at 8:30. And then in baseball, Bisons are at Syracuse just after 6:35. You can listen to that over on our sister station, the Bet 1520. While in the majors, Yankees host Tampa. The Jays have the Pirates in town, and the Mets, they are down in Florida to take on the Marlins. All three of those games do start just after 7 o'clock. And catch every take, every reaction, and every big Buffalo sports moment live now on YouTube with Jeremy and Joe in the morning and Show 'em the Bulldog in the afternoon. Watch favorite WGR hosts anytime, anywhere, live on air, live on YouTube. It's brought to you by Belknap Heating and Cooling. For more comfort and less ka-ching, give Belknap a ring. It's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Update. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
It's Mike Schopp.
We were having a very serious conversation about mayonnaise here.
And the Bulldog.
And don't even talk to me about weed.
On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
Wrapping up the week and the season still. What was the best part? The best moment? The best thing about it all? 803-0550. In terms of moments, I'm trying to beat it. And I think certain playoff moments probably should come in over the top, but it's Doan for 8-7 for me, I think.
Yeah.
Like, this is really happening.
Yeah.
On this level, with my family watching that game together. I went home to watch Game 7 with my wife and kids, and I was really happy that everybody wanted to watch overtime. My daughter had even been to the watch party at home, and she wanted to watch overtime.
All right.
But when they won that game against Tampa, as rough as that was, as maybe it even didn't ever seem that likely, I know it didn't to me, that they would pass the Lightning in the standings, and then they went on to do that. What a game. I mean, that's an all-time game.
Yeah. It's really hard to overlook it in any sort of framework where you're trying to establish, like, what's a moment from the season. I think the Doan play in Boston in the clincher might be close as a moment for me, because that's Doan and Benson, and they are two of the sort of discoveries of the season, I would say. Yep. Like Benson was already, kind of endeared by the fan base, I think, but it really wasn't, what was it really amounting to? But he became a star during these playoffs, I feel like. Or at least known. I don't know, star might be pushing it, but
I don't know. Might be fair.
He folk hero even, like I don't know. And he's so much fun to just talk about. Even he's fun to listen to them talk about. Like the way they talk about him. I just love the way that all appears from even this distance. So like that, the Doan and Benson combining for that goal, and it didn't win them the game, but it eased the tension. I mean, it's a 2-1 game, and it's the third period. Now it's 3-1. Like, okay, we got this.
They had an empty net goal on the road in the playoffs where Doan was going in and he passed it to Benson. And Jason Zucker, after the game on TNT, was asked about that. I wouldn't have passed it to him.
Yeah, I would have passed it to him. Somebody else.
Anybody else, sure.
Yeah, Thompson called him the dumbest human being he's ever met. But in a complimentary way.
The nicest possible way.
He's just so silly, I know.
No offense.
And so much of this centers on him. Like, I mean, amongst me and my friends, and I doubt we have the market cornered on this. Like, there's just a lot of Benson chatter. Amongst my friends. One of them even made a denim vest with Benson and the number 6 on the back of it, because we talk about the dirt bike and the jean jacket and the whole thing. So he's like a folk hero. Anyway, so he and Doan on that goal, that might be close, But the Tampa game, everything from it was just maybe the moment that anyone who was holding out went, okay, you got me. I love you again. Like, you're awesome. This is great. I'm done being skeptical. I'm done trying to figure out how much Kevin Adams should get credit for. Whatever. Just, this is great. I love it again. Thank you for letting me love you again, or helping me love you again. So, I mean, when you get a game out of 82 in the regular season that people from around the league are talking about as the game of the year, it's hard to top that as a moment in a season. I mean, and that's what that 8-7 Tampa game was. Like, for different reasons, really nerdy reasons, I might like the game where they shut them down in the third period, the follow-up, the game that came after that game here, where they just dominated them in the third period, just shut them down. It didn't have the drama, didn't have the violence and the animosity, but like,
it had Vasilevsky.
Right, but just as important, right? I mean, it's like, I can do this to a great team. And so that was another one, but 8-7 to me is probably the answer.
We have names for games over the years in sports. That's 8-7. The score is the name. Right. Like 51-3.
Right.
Sometimes the score is the name. Mike is with us. Hello, Mike.
Hey, guys. How are you guys doing?
Great. Thank you.
Fantastic. So both of you I've had the pleasure of meeting. I own a sports bar that we're not going to name or get anyone in trouble, but just seeing the immense crowds that have actually come back and, people actually giving a damn. Yeah. And like you said, if it was nothing else, it was that 8-7 game where people just realized, oh, my God, like, we have a team again. We can actually care about something. It was those moments. It was coming back from the Olympic break, having those people packing the bar that just really made this year special and the whole culmination of it all.
Yes, no doubt about that.
Yeah, definitely. Like that's a moment for me. It's the game, the 10-game win streak ended on, but Saturday afternoon in January at the place I go all the time, I went. I didn't go there to watch the game. I went there at like 1 o'clock to have lunch and a couple of drinks with a friend. And then it's 2:45 and we look around and it's like, elbows to elbow. Like the place is mobbed. And it's all people there to watch the Sabres play the Columbus Blue Jackets. Like, what is happening? We're back? We're back. Wow. And that just multiplied all through the winter and spring. It was really great to see.
Thank you, Mike. Ray is next. Hello, Ray.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good.
Okay, first off, the game that I thought that got me, it was the Detroit game, the comeback, the overtime with Thompson just leveled. And it was DeBrincat and fed it to Samuelson for the score. But the other thing I called about was I'm wondering now, seeing how the Sabres did, if any of the restricted free agents you think may be signed to offer sheets, because I don't think the free agency market's that good. And the one guy I would worry about is the one we've been all talking about is Benson. I'll hang up and listen.
I mean, you can choose to worry about that. I just don't.
Choose to.
I don't choose to. I don't think teams are ready to weaponize it. And like if suddenly GMs, I mean, I shouldn't say shouldn't. I mean, St. Louis took Edmonton to the cleaners a couple of off seasons ago. They offer sheeted 2 guys, and Edmonton ended up not matching either of them. They really put them in a pinch, so they're going to make them choose, and then they just let them both go. I don't know if that was out of spite or what. And those were like mid-tier players. Those weren't like superstar players, and those contracts weren't crazy. Maybe for the level of player they were. So I don't want to just say out of hand, like it won't happen. Don't ever worry about it. But it's just not something that happens regularly enough that I'm going to really fear that they're going to fall prey to that. I guess they could.
Certainly don't want to have it happen.
Right.
Because then what? I mean, if it's way out there, which is the only kind of offer sheet worth making, what was Montreal with Aho? Just it was light, right? That was there's nothing to say, nothing to think about. But if somebody comes in at record money for a player of Zach Benson's caliber, I think you'd have to think about it. I don't think it would be a no-brainer yes like Vanek. And I don't want to have to think about that. I'm not going to worry about it either. And you can go both ways on that. Maybe weren't they talking about Robertson this morning for this, from the Sabres standpoint. I feel like Benson has been so special to this, but he's also not top dollar in the league.
Right.
So let's hope it doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, if someone wants to give him Doan's contract,
I say yes.
I think I just match it.
Right.
Right? And if someone wants to give him more than that at this point, I think maybe they're crazy.
But then
you're stuck. Then you're just, okay, yeah. But so, yeah, I don't know. Boy, I'm thinking way more. I should. It could happen. I shouldn't just rule it out. I said that 10 times already.
You don't want to end the weekend on this.
Interesting choice with the Detroit game. The guy pulled out. And I'm thinking, first block, I'm like, man, that's so early. It's right on they won 6 of 9 before the trip that begins in Philadelphia, where they lost the 3-0. Philly, Winnipeg, Calgary. They lost those 3 games before that Edmonton game on December 9th that everybody points to. They had won 6 of 9 games, and that Detroit win on the road was the first of those.
That's the day Dahlin came back.
That's right.
He met them in Detroit,
That's right.
I think.
That's right. They came home and beat Edmonton a couple of nights later, 5-1. Lost badly at home to Calgary, 6-2. Then blew out Chicago 9-3 on a Friday night. Beat Carolina, which is not ever nothing, 4-1. Lost at Pittsburgh, lost at Jersey, badly, 5-0 in Jersey, 4-2 in Pittsburgh. And then beat Minnesota, beat Winnipeg, and then went on that trip. And lost Philly, Winnipeg, Calgary, and then blasted off. So it's sort of like they were on a hot streak before the hot streak, kind of. A little bit.
It's been nice talking to E.J. Raddick through these playoffs. We did so one more time yesterday. And he is the person who, on a day when you were absent, sort of put it to me in a way that I think was very believable, how the players had to recommit around then, Edmonton, reestablish what the standard needed to be, or set a standard. Not that there wouldn't have been any standard before, but it might have been too low. And so even again yesterday, even though he had already talked to us about this when we went back into the regular season, he brought it up again and even referred to that meeting that Lindy Ruff has talked about, where the leadership group, as Ruff has put it, got together, and that it wasn't all pleasant between the guys. But, it's the story I choose to believe about this season, is that their top players, the season wasn't too late yet. And they were having enough good results, like what you just pointed out, a little bit of a streak before they lost out west, to look, it's going to be up to us. We're nobody's going anywhere unless we just sort of put up with another miserable season and then beg to leave. Which, thank God we're not there.
Right.
Joe said something about that the other day. Like, had they not been good, had this not happened, we're just talking about Dahlin and Thompson and whether it's time to move them.
And how soon are they going to make that unavoidable? Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. We never got there. What a relief that is.
Yes. That might be my new highlight of the season.
Right.
Something that didn't happen. Frank is next. Hello.
Hey, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, so I think my actually highlight of the season is actually through a couple of games, and that's the emergence of Matthias Samuelsson, and even he said it himself. Every single shot just seemed to be going in, and that pretty much established our top 4 as elite. And I was just so Like, everybody was just so ready to wash their hands of him, and he just redeemed himself, and along with Owen Power. And I think that is truly where we are going to succeed, is through our defense moving forward. Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Boy, Samuelsson, I think we talked about this earlier, well before the playoffs. Like, we were already kind of starting to feel it. Like, wow, what's really going on here? This is pretty awesome. And doesn't he? I've got the wrong game open here. I'm looking for a Ranger Sabre game. The goal, he scores a shorthanded goal. Samuelsson scores a shorthanded goal
At the Rangers.
Going down the left wall. It's like halfway through the faceoff circle, maybe even lower.
Try January 8th.
Okay, and he just shoots it. It goes in, and it was at a moment in the game. I'm pretty sure they're nursing a 2-1 lead, and they've just taken a penalty, and it's like, oh no, and then blammo, he just does that, like, okay, I guess we got this. That was such a great moment with him. I just love that play so much. That is the game.
On Jonathan Quick.
Right.
By the way.
Now, what did I do there?
January 8th, 3-2, mid-third, Krebs penalty. Samuelsson scores 14 seconds into it for 4-2 and a 5-2 win.
And you're cruising. It's just so good.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, we're really looking at the standings. I mean, the 10-game winning streak gets them to the line, gets them right at the line. But after that, wins continued to pile up. And by the end of January, I want to say they weren't clinched or anything, but they were in really strong shape.
That's right. I mean, they ended the winning streak on that game I referenced on a Saturday against Columbus. Then won their next 3, lost 1, won 2, lost 2, won 5, lost 1. Like they never really cooled off. The requisite losing streak to accompany the winning streak just never came. And you kept sort of there, and the season sometimes naturally, and in this case, the way the schedule worked, it gave you some natural signposts with the Olympic break sitting in there. And like the Sabres were running so hot going into that, although they did lay a big egg the last night before it with a home loss to Pittsburgh 5-2. But they came out of that break just on fire. Did they win 13 of 14 or something coming out of the break? They were. I've got it here, but I can't even. It's too many W's for me to add up.
It's too hard.
It's just so good. New Jersey, Florida, Tampa, Vegas, Pittsburgh, Nashville, Tampa, San Jose, out of the break in a row.
12 out of 13 is correct.
Man.
Then 2 overtime losses.
Right. Just are they going to wilt? Was it fluky? Are they going to stay hot after the Olympic break? No, here's 12 out of 13. Chew on that.
How did I not go to 1 win? All these wins you're speaking of. I wasn't at any of these games.
I know.
How did I not go to 1?
Same here. Just never made it. I didn't go a lot. That helps. I don't know.
That's right. I think I went to 5.
I went to 4. 3 playoff losses. Ugh. Oh, that's tough.
Technically, I was in the building for Game 7 also. I left before it started.
Yeah.
That's not quite a walk of shame, but.
Oh, believe me, I know. Yeah, dude. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
From 20 years ago, you know.
Yeah.
Always going home.
Always going home. Going the wrong way. Where's this guy going? Yeah. Good times. Yeah.
I got recognized a lot on that walk on Monday.
I'll bet.
You know, I've got a bag, right? A visor, probably. But nobody questioned me to my face. You're like, what's this?
You're going the wrong way.
Is the game off?
Like that? Yeah, right.
Is the game canceled?
You didn't get any of that? Yeah.
No, I didn't. Not to my face. It's the walk to the casino because I park at the casino, usually. It's a pretty good walk.
That is a healthy walk. Yeah.
Healthy is a good word for it.
Yeah.
And then you drive away from the arena, and then that road is closed. Eventually, there must be working on it, or it's just closed.
Yeah. I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Then you have to go. I think
I know what road you're on.
So I'm on Perry Street, leaving the casino, turning right away from the arena.
All right.
And then I think that's closed at maybe Hamburg Street. So I have to go.
Yeah, there's like construction happening down there too. Yeah.
That's what the signs make you think.
Yeah.
the road closed sign, it looks like that construction sign you see.
Yeah.
Then, so it's up the hill, but there's no 190 North entrance on that hill. There's south.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should go south and then go back.
Loop around. Yeah.
Instead, I go over that hill. And then, is it Swan Street, where Dobutsu was? The potholes on that hill are just record stuff.
That's Seneca, I think.
Seneca,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yep.
Not Swan. Swan is the ballpark.
Yep.
Seneca Street.
Yep.
Street draft.
Mm.
Now, I mean, that I had to do it a second time for this Game 7 after leaving another game going the same way, having parked there. And I really, you need like special padding in your car for that hill. Because the potholes are incredible on that hill.
Some roads that are in
that's what should be closed.
Bit of disrepair in there, yeah.
Yeah, that's the road that should be closed, I think. But then, I don't know what I would do. I might have to figure out another
Stay at the
route.
casino or the game.
Or just stay at the game
I mean,
and never leave.
I suppose you could have done that. That was an option.
I mean, all my friends were almost begging me to do that. Why? Not that like they needed me there, but just like, why? How could you leave? And I know, I hear you.
If I wouldn't have had a ticket, I would not have stayed. I wouldn't have wanted. We talked about this. That's how I ended up. You ended up going to Game 5 against Boston, is I knew we were going to be working there. I'm like, I'm going to be here. It's not 20 years ago. My kids can, make dinner themselves. They don't need me to watch them. They're adults. So I'm going to stay for the game. I just walk around and hope an usher doesn't shoo me away from a spot or whatever. I got to find a place to sit. If I didn't have a ticket, I would have gone home too. Game 7.
I really came this year, probably as much as ever, I really came to enjoy watching the Sabres with my wife. I wanted to be home to watch the game with her. Because she is, with all the hockey she's watched with our daughter, she has become like super knowledgeable, and we can really just talk about decisions that are made on the ice and matchups and things like this. When the Sabres took the ice, I was with her in the building for Game 5. When the Sabres took the ice for the third period, I was looking the other way, and she sort of tapped me on the arm, was like, "Lion," and you and I talked about it the next day on the air. I was not assuming that. I thought maybe at only 2 goals down,
stay with. Yeah.
Yes, like they did in the one Boston game they lost, where they just let's see how the third period starts.
Right.
And that didn't start well.
No,
They learned from that.
And then he got pulled. Yeah,
But
Luukkonen it was. Yeah, right.
That was Luukkonen, right?
Right.
So I wanted to be home to watch with her.
Yeah, same goes for me too with, the home games. I'm glad I was in there because I've enjoyed, think about like favorite moments of the season, and the sentiment of our first caller, Michael, this segment was, like just seeing people out and enjoying it again. I mean, this is a year where I got to do that with Owen for the first time ever. They've never been good when he's known anything about hockey, other than like barely how to skate, right? I mean, that's it. So, the playoff games that were on the road, he was at the Boston clincher, so I didn't get to do that with him. Those are great memories. My wife is funny. She knows a lot too. Like when she's in there, when other teams are playing, she can, we can have a conversation about what's happening in the game. I think the scar tissue from our kid being a goalie ruined her. Like she can't even be in the room watching Bills games. Like it's too tense. I think it gets her some sort of PTSD from being the goalie mom, with Nichols playing Shattuck St. Mary's or whatever. She's like, I can't do this. And she just has to leave the room.
I had a great night last night with a college friend of mine and her husband who were up from Atlanta. They listen all the time, and they watch all the games and listen to the station all the time. And it was fun to listen to them. This could just be any people, right, that you meet. It's fun to listen to them describe their experiences watching games together, because my friend, who's very gregarious, and she was a great friend of mine in school, she was like, I don't know how he can just sit there while we're watching these games. And he's like, I don't know how you have to be so loud. Because she must be just super demonstrative and reacting to everything out loud. And she's like, how could you not feel anything? And he's like, who said that I didn't feel anything? I'm just not.
It's just not coming out.
And he was a little bit of a guy who would be like, I just know we're going to lose. So he doesn't want to be that guy out loud all the time. Nobody does wants to be around that.
Right. It's good to have that awareness.
So I said, it sounds like you're a great team, you two.
Right.
But she's the one, apparently, that does all the, I don't know, yelling and screaming, maybe overstating
reacting, whatever. Yeah.
Highlight of the season for you, Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here, 803-0550. This is WGR.
Plenty of playoff action tonight. We'll start in the NHL, Game 2 of the Western Conference Final. Colorado hosting Las Vegas. Puck drop tonight is at 8. Cale Makar out again for Colorado. Mark Stone also not going to make his return tonight for Vegas, but the Golden Knights do lead that series 1-0. While in the NBA, Game 3 of the Western Conference Final there, Spurs host the Thunder now, and that series is tied 1-1. But heading into tonight, injuries are the name of the game. According to ESPN reporter Shams Charania, Spurs guards Dylan Harper and De'Aaron Fox are both considered game-time decisions, while Thunder forward Jalen Williams is considered unlikely to play. Game time tonight for that is at 8:30. In baseball, Bisons are at Syracuse tonight just after 6:35, while in the majors, we've got 3 games all getting underway just after 7 o'clock. Yankees host Tampa, the Jays have the Pirates in town, and the Mets, they are all the way down in Florida to take on the Marlins. That's your Paddock Chevrolet Sports Headlines. Paddock Chevrolet with you for the extra mile since 1935. I'm Zach Jones for Western New York's Voice of the Fan, WGR.
I think Bo's still a young defenseman. He can get better. Rasmus Dahlin takes his job very seriously. He wants to be the best defenseman in the world. Samuelsson, to me, was probably the biggest revelation when I came here, how good he was. Watching from outside, I had no idea how good he can be and how good he was this year on both sides of the puck. He can still keep getting better. I have no doubt about that. Owen Power, such a talented young man, and he's just scratching surface. With that size, 6'6", I don't think he's ever going to be a killer, but he doesn't have to be. He's so smart. He's so mobile for a guy that size.
Jarmo Kekalainen earlier this week hit the website to catch up on anything you might have missed, Bills or Sabres, from Sal and Paul, WGR550.com. We have golf on today. The scores are outrageous. The Byron Nelson Open, or something like that. Byron Nelson still has his name on
the
it.
The CJ Cup, Byron Nelson, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It feels like everybody's birdieing every hole, and you said that you read that they put $25 million into this golf course to make it harder.
Yes.
I mean, did they get that right?
I don't know. It doesn't seem like it. I mean, I have not gone far into. I've just seen it like attached to scorecards or whatever from already this. So the first 2 days of this, like money well spent. Like 25 million was the figure I saw, but I don't know how many holes they lengthened or what they did to try to make it harder. I do know I wasn't paying enough attention to even know who was hitting the shots and what hole it was, but I know there was a couple of approach shots, and so like maybe a second or a third player was playing into a green, and there was a ball on the green, and another guy hit in, and the green looked like it was the size of like a silver dollar. Like I couldn't believe how small the green was. Tiny green. But, that's obviously there's lots of big greens. We're watching Scheffler now putting on something that looks like an airport runway. So I don't know. But, yeah.
This course isn't fooling them.
I think they've spent a lot of money and resources to try to make this harder, and it's not working.
When in the Summer of Love, when I was playing golf with John McEntee and his family every Saturday morning at Lakeshore in Greece, every time, it was the best. There were so many great memories. First tee, big wide open fairway, put one out there, and he'd just turn to me and he'd say, "Mikey, this course is defenseless." I bet they're saying that out there today.
I think they are.
This course is defenseless.
I mean, Scheffler's got 7 birdies today. He's birdied the last 4 holes. Sorry, his scorecard just popped up, so I'm now reduced to just telling you what's in front of me on the teleprompter.
He's 5 under in the last 4 holes.
Right.
The leader is minus 17 with 4 holes left in the second round.
Right. And he shot 61 today with a hole-in-one.
That's him.
Yeah. Which is not.
He's 5 back.
Yeah. Oh, no. Sorry. I didn't even notice the last time I had looked. Im was in the lead, and it's Siwoo Kim now. I'm sorry. I missed that. Yeah, Im had the hole-in-one and shot 61.
And he's
way
behind.
Yeah, he's way behind his right. Yeah.
I interviewed Byron Nelson. I was thinking about it today when I heard about this tournament. I always think about it when the Byron Nelson tournament comes around, when Doug Young got me Byron Nelson. And I just love this one line. 25 years later. He's been dead a long time. And it was just a question about, some benign, easy question about Tiger Woods' greatness and legacy. At any time any of those guys would do an interview, they're probably getting asked that.
Yep.
And I might have just thrown in, kind of showing off a little bit, I might have thrown in like a couple of specifics, like winning X number of slams by this age, or just, like maybe went on a little bit. And when I got done, long-winded me, I got done, and there's a pause, and Byron Nelson says, "Son, you have to remember, I'm 90.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry, sir.
You said too many things
yes.
in between the point you started the question, and I thought it was going to be about Tiger Woods, and then you just started ticking off accomplishments, and now I don't know what we're doing, and who are you again?"
Right.
Yeah.
Next question.
Right.
Do you still play golf?
Right. What's your favorite color?
Do you like to eat? That's not nice. But it was, okay, yeah, that's fair. You're 90, and I made it too complicated. That's okay. It's an honor to talk to Lord Byron Nelson.
Yep.
I know that.
I'll keep it short.
It only happened once. Tom is with us. Hello, Tom.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good, thanks.
We're talking about greatest memories of the season, and me and my nephew are the biggest fans of the family, and we had not been to a game yet, so I saw that they were playing on a Sunday, and I said, "Hey, do you want to go?" And he was like, "Of course." So I splurge and get 100 level behind the shoot twice net, and happened to be the 8-7 Tampa game.
What a home run. Wow.
And it was like, I couldn't believe that I bought those tickets, and we were just in tears, just how awesome the game was.
I'll bet.
And Zucker coming down the wing, beating the defenseman. I'm like, I think he's going to score. And it's just that made the two playoff losses we went to after go down a little better, but that was incredible.
Yeah.
That's
Thank you, Tom. I mean, that game really did have everything. With all the dirty from it right away.
Yep.
Hagel just pounding Dahlin into the ice, and then comebacks. They're down 2 goals, maybe twice in the game, or at least once. They're down 7-5, I think, maybe, or 6-4. And we talked about it the next day. Like,
I think it's both.
Okay.
Carrick scores in between there to get it back to 1, and then Tampa scores again, and then the Sabres score. The final 3, I think.
Yeah, Dahlin had one of them.
Yeah.
But we were saying the next day how even if you lose that game 6-4 or 7-5, you can still feel pretty good about their mettle and their chances. But that isn't even it. They go and win the game in regulation from there. So that really did have everything you'd want in a sporting event.
They were up 4-1, fell behind 6-4, 6-5 Carrick, 7-5 Hagel, and then 3 in a row. Dahlin, Zucker, Doan. Yep.
Luukkonen played the whole thing.
Yeah.
Right?
And so did Jonas Johansson for Tampa.
8-7, both goalies played the whole thing. Nels is next. Hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Good. Thanks for calling.
Thanks for having me. I had a moment early in the season. It was probably start of December, maybe it was late November. I was in my car driving to my mom's house, and I was about checking out. And I've had a tough time the last few years. And I said to myself, I love these players, and I'm not going to just check out on the season. And they were bad at the time. And I thought of Tuck and Thompson and Dahlin. And, it wasn't right away, but then they started to win. So the whole, I just checked in before the winning streak. And that's my moment of the year was I go back to that and I think, man, I decided to stay in and got rewarded with what an amazing season. It was so special.
Very cool. Thanks for sharing that. It is, however, over. And I don't know. I had an idea.
Oh, yeah.
NFL picks. Really, it's a Friday. The spreads are out. The schedule's out. We've barely talked about it. What about this? What about one game that is binding for the picks? I haven't prepared anything. You know me. Let's go in there.
I do, yes.
Let's go in there. If you don't like it, we don't have to do it, but at least we'll talk about it. Go in there, check out the spreads.
Okay.
You know, Sammy P style. Maybe find one where you think the line will move and then come back to it.
Yeah.
Do I want to log back in? Yes.
Yeah.
You don't have to.
You don't have to. Right.
I'm doing it, though.
I find that logging back in makes it much more convenient to then actually gamble once you're in there.
Yeah, and I don't know if you want that.
Yeah, right. That's why. I'm on a little bit. I dabbled during this second round series only a couple times with like Colonius, 2 goals and whatever. But I'm not active.
This app I'm on, I have no money in it.
I keep waiting for them to call me and say, where you been?
Oh, you're playing
have some free bets.
You're playing,
but they're not. That's not coming.
A game of chicken.
Yeah, I don't know. They're not. They are not.
FanDuel.
They are not. I don't know. They're not up for it. Doesn't seem like. They are not noticing.
I like your style, though.
They're not noticing my absence. Is all I really need to say.
I like your style though, because then you're just going to stay away.
I thought for a while that they were when I first sort of cooled down, but not anymore.
They've moved on.
I show up in there and it's just like I've been there all along. I'm like, I thought you guys would have missed me.
Not the way you did.
Yeah, well, I guess maybe. Yeah.
They didn't miss you that badly.
God, a Hellenius empty netter. Oh, my God.
In Game 6.
In Game 6 when he broke his stick with the goalie pulled, and I would have won $11,000. Oh, my God.
Too soon to even talk. That's why you don't want to do this.
All right. Yeah, fine. Let's take a break and then do that.
You want to take a break first?
Oh, I wasn't going to just do it right now. It was
all right. Fine.
I thought it was.
Do you want some time to think?
I thought it was too late to actually do it. Yeah, I wasn't.
Just pick one game. I was going to say, we'll take the break, but one game.
Yeah, I'm just over here talking. I haven't even looked.
Okay. Well, now you have a chance to look.
Okay.
Mike Schopp and the Bulldog here. Happy Friday. This is WGR.
Never will. What does that make me? And I'm not here just defending myself, but all those pickers out there who've been caught. Each and every one of them. Who has to suffer the shame and humiliation because of people like you.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
Are we not human? If we pick, do we not bleed?
On WGR.
I am not an animal.
Sports Radio 550.
Okay. Did you look?
I'm currently looking.
That's not a yes.
No, I
looking now.
I perused. I looked. Yeah.
Okay.
No, I remembered. I looked.
You remember the assignment?
I remember the assignment. Yeah. I don't know what. I can't really tell even how it seems sort of scattershot. Like I feel like I've got select games for certain weeks only here.
Well, I was just thinking week 1.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. I was going to pick the Chiefs +2.5 with the Bills on Thanksgiving.
Really? You were going to do
okay.
that? You're going to pick the Chiefs here? Was going to be your pick?
Yeah. Yeah.
You never pick against the Bills.
I don't know. I think they might be terrible. No, I'm kidding. I'm just
I don't think you are.
I'm just goofing around.
I think we have something to talk about on Monday, Tuesday.
I am maybe more worried than the average bear about the Bills. I'm a little concerned.
They've never won a game in that stadium.
That's right. And I'm not sure if they even know where all their stuff is.
Better get that figured out.
To get that figured out is right. Okay, week 1 we're dwelling on then? Okay.
Grass.
Let's see.
I'll give you mine.
Okay,
if
go
you
ahead.
want another minute.
Yeah.
I've looked the schedule up and down, and I like this as kind of a fun one. I'm going to take Atlanta +2.5 at Pittsburgh. I love a +2.5. Sam would not be impressed. Wait till it gets to 3. Won't it get to 3? Pittsburgh at home. Mike McCarthy, Aaron Rodgers, Atlanta. There's some pressure against that. We know that Rodgers is going to be there. We know that McCarthy is there. And we still won't make the Steelers a 3-point favorite at home against Atlanta. I love it. Give me Atlanta outright. Give me Atlanta to be good with Tua and Kevin Stefanski. And I liked their schedule release video, by the way, for a lot of different clips. I got Atlanta to be good and to win outright at Pittsburgh week 1 against a Steeler team that will not be good. Now you go.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know.
Take Pittsburgh.
I don't know that I'm going to have that much authority as definitive as
you can sell it.
I mean, come on. Give me the Bears -2.5 at Carolina.
Ooh, all right. A lot of 2.5s. 2.5.
God, Carolina. They're not really good.
That's all the Bears get for credit is 2.5 against Carolina. I love it.
That's going to go up.
Is that a sucker bet?
Probably. I mean, whatever. It's May 22nd. It was either that or the Titans -2.5 hosting the Jets.
Wow.
You know, I'm a Cam Ward guy.
Yes, you are.
So
he said he lost 10 pounds.
Yeah. Oh wow. I mean,
best shape of his life.
Best shape of his life. Here we go. Yep. Should work out just great.
Nice reviews for Carnell Tate, by the way, in Tennessee camp. Highlight plays.
Yeah, I read
Your Titans.
My Titans. I read some of that. I still don't approve of the uniform change, the colors. They're wearing basically the Oilers' old stuff, and
so much better though.
It is, but it's just wrong. It's just like Colorado looks way better when they wear the Nordique stuff, but they shouldn't be allowed to wear the Nordique stuff. They stole the team.
I agree with the point. I agree with the premise. I disagree on the Titans because I think it's close enough to a hybrid. Like they were already wearing a jersey, a uniform with Houston homages or something, and they took another step toward Houston. But I love the look.
Well, they definitely improved overall because their aesthetic before was late 80s Legend of Zelda Nintendo, original, the OG Nintendo game. Like their stuff looked like it was out of an 80s video game.
I might like that. If you do it right.
Well, they definitely didn't.
Like a Tetris-themed uniform.
Wow.
What would that look like?
Hang on, terrible is the word I wanted.
Lots of L's and zigzags and blocks. The NCAA lacrosse semifinals women today, men tomorrow. I know the women, Northwestern is in the women's bracket, maybe Johns Hopkins. I don't know the other two. The men tomorrow, Princeton, Duke, Syracuse, Notre Dame. Syracuse is back on the top level here this year. They've been good, but now Final Four.
All right, Ross's Princeton Tigers.
Yeah, I texted him about it. I wonder if he's interested. You know, maybe not his sport, but I'll be rooting for Princeton. I'm not a Duke guy.
Who is?
I know. Princeton, Duke, Syracuse, Notre Dame. The finals on Monday.
People who go to Duke are Duke people. That's it.
Our chat with Sammy P next.
Was Thursday, today it's Friday.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
We so excited, we gonna have a ball today. Tomorrow is Saturday.
I'm itching inside. My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I took Deborah, went to the liquor store, I loaded up with alcohol. More specifically, vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
On WGR, Sports Radio 550.
Looking forward to the weekend. Yesterday was Thursday. Today is Friday.
It's Mike Schopp and the Bulldog.
We
reaching inside. My liver's all twisted up. But you know what I did? I took Deborah, went to the liquor store. I loaded up with alcohol, more specifically vodka, whiskey, beer, tequila, more beer, more vodka, more whiskey, and more beer.
On WGR Sports Radio 550.